Welcome to the Darth Grumpy Dad stream. Well, it's been a while since I've done one of these. Um, let me make sure my mic is working. There we go. All right. Um, Welcome to Darth Grumpy Dad. It's been a while since I've done one of these streams. Today, I'm doing Diablo 3 again. I'm doing the Monk POJ build for Season 28. An early, like a low gear 110, because to finish out your altar of rights over here, you need to carry like I think it's like 1,300 blood shards or something, and you need to be able to clear a GR 110 solo to do that. So that's the point I'm like of this build, is to get that done early on, right? So to go over this, oops, I got a bunch of junk. I should have cleared out before I started. I'm sorry about that. My gems in here. Most of this stuff is just going to be garbage for me at this point. $77. I think the one I've got is better currently. Just gamble fast. Your fast gamble. Get rid of stuff. All right. Sorry about that. Now, we are going to do our best to clear a 110 with the POJ Monk, which is the starter set, the Hedrig's Gift for Season 28. Now, running a 110, I'm going to assume you need to run a 110 to clear your altar. So you've got a few of the things done on it, right? You're getting some of the extra damage bonuses and damage reduction and stuff like that from it. To start with, I want to start with your follower. Now, you can gear your follower out any way you want. I'm just suggesting this for this build. Now, I took Temporal Pulse, right? Because quite simply, the cooldown, right? Drives an enemy to fight, but it's like the cooldown. It happens every 4 seconds. She's throwing something out. Here, Prophetic Harmony. Like, the reason I chose this over Amplification, which is increases your static elemental bonus, like, which would be super handy, and probably something you go with later on, right? But for right now, we're going with Prophetic Harmony. Reduce your skills cooldowns by 9.82% based on your enchantress's intelligence. Now, early on, when you first start this, it's only like 6 or 7%, right? So you have to raise the enchantress's intelligence level to get it, and it tops out at 10. And then I went with Powered Shield, right? It just reduces damage from ranged attacks, increases your armor, slows attackers. Then I went with Focused Mind, creates a 40-yard aura that increases attack speed for you and the Enchantress based on her intelligence again. Now, to gear her, because a lot of the gear I have on her is also for my farming. I have a Broken Crown. An ancient one did drop for me, and now, as you can see, there's intelligence rolled on that. Like, you cannot do that with your monk. Excuse me. You're basically going to have to make a wizard or a necromancer or a witch doctor, which are intelligence-based characters, and level up your enchantress with that character. It can be a level 1 character, it doesn't matter. You just need to level up your enchantress, and then when you get gear for your enchantress, not, level up this gal over here, right? Your artisan person here, Miriam, who enchants and transmogrifies stuff for you. Now you're going to want to make your level 1 intelligence character, level her up all the way take the gear you get for your enchantress, put it in your stash, then get it out with your intelligence-based character, and go over here and roll it because she needs intelligence. And you can get her quite a ways by just putting topaz and everything that has slots for her, except your sword, of course. You want a green gem in it for crit damage, and I can actually put a bigger crit stone in there than that. Let's remove that. Make a bigger one. Whoops. There we go. That'll get her a little more damage. There we go. Right, so you want to roll intelligence on everything. Put intelligence stones in everything, in her rings, in her necklaces. Right. I know that does cool down. You don't get any intelligence out of putting it in there, but doing yellow, going with it. But I got a broken crown on her so that whatever gem I have in my helm, I get 2 of. Normally when I'm farming, it's a green gem for gold. So I get double green. So I get an extra green gem every time a gem drops. It makes farming my gems for this character a lot easier. Important, right? You want Spalder to Zakara, so your gear doesn't, you don't have to repair your gear all the time. You want Flavor of Time. It's important to have Flavor of Time on her. Nemesis Bracer, so you get the extra champion out of each shrine and pylon. Ring of Royal Grandeur. Oculus Ring, it puts a ring on the ground, a yellow ring that increases your damage by 76%. A good one caps out at 85% extra damage. And then boost, I just got the canes on her, so when I'm farming Nephilim Rifts, I get a 25% chance at an extra keystone. I have got Witching Hour on here because it comes with crit hit damage and decent intelligence. Gloves of Worship, very important because small shrines will last for 10 minutes when you've got these on her. And if you need 110 to finish up your altar, I'm assuming also that you have the first potion open, which hopefully you chose the Father potion, right? When you drink your health potion, gaining a random shrine or dimensional power pylon effect, right? In isolation, the spire stands witness to the blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so you get a random shrine or spire effect every time you hit your health, right? Now, as you can see, I got a shrine effect because it's got the little sparkly thing over my head. Okay, let's go into my menu. Let's hit X. And we can see we got empowered. Your resource regeneration is increased and your cooldowns are reduced for 10 minutes. Right, that's going to last 10 minutes. So every time you pop one of those in a rift, you're going to gain a 10-minute bonus. Now, occasionally it's just going to be a power pylon or a speed pylon, right? Or a channeling pylon. But a lot of times you're going to get these little shrine effects and they'll last 10 minutes. You can stack 3 or 4 of those in a rift. And it really does help increase your damage through the rift. So you want that going. Okay, back to follower. The weapon I've got on her is Azarath, and again, I rolled intelligence on it because it does cold damage. 23% chance to freeze on hit, right? 15% cold damage skill, and it has cold damage on it, right? Because one of my main damage creators for my build, for my PLJ build, is going to be cold. And if she's freezing guys, I do more damage to people that are frozen. That's why I've gone with Azarath on her. Gold skin. And there's other stuff you could get with lightning damage on it and stuff to help buff your lightning damage. Of course, I've got your follower cannot die, smoking thimble, right? So, again, skills. Temporal plus. Prophetic Harmony, Powered Shield, and Focused Mind. Right, so that's your Enchantress loadout. And at about, I think, when she's at about 25,000 intelligence, she'll be maxed out. All of her skills will be last as long as they can, and they'll buff you as much as possible. Which, like I said, this cooldown reduction tops out at 10. So 18 more percent on that. And like I said, probably another 1,000 damage or intelligence or something to get that done on her. Now, my build. Now, I'm just going with basic stuff I assumed you picked up. And I assumed at this point where you're finishing up your altar, you've got at least 200 Paragon, right? So I know Dexterity gives us damage and it gives us shield or armor, but I went Vitality, so we have a good life pool to work with, to even start with. We get plenty of spirit out of this build. This build itself is a spirit generator, so it will be full on spirit, and it has its own movement speed generator in the stacks of Sweeping Wind, so I just went Vitality there. Here, cooldown reduction. We need lots of cooldown to keep up our defensive skills. Oh, we just die all the time. So, cooldown reduction. Resist all. Our Dexterity creates armor, but armor does not protect you from elemental, right? Lightning, poison, fire, fire, whatever the other one is. I can't think off the top. Ice, right? Ice, fire, lightning, poison. Your armor doesn't really protect you from that. Resist all does. So you want resist all bumped up first, right? And then here, area damage, because our Sweeping Wind and our Flurry skill that we use are area damage. Tempest Rush is area damage, so I got the area damage, right, tapped out. Resource cost reduction, we don't need to worry about that. We generate plenty of resource in the build. Life per hit would be nice, but we need the area damage. So, Vitality, cooldown reduction, resist all, area damage. And then fill out whatever you want after that. If you got more Paragon, yeah, your Dexterity would be a good one to go with there. And then here, probably Crit Chance would be an excellent one to go next. Life, fill your life after that, so you have a good life pool. Area, probably life per hit would be the next one you filled here, right? And all right, so gear, Wu Kim Lao, right? Hitting with Tempest Rush will activate Cyclone Strike, and both skills will deal 589% damage. Right now, we look at that. We look at the set range. That tops out at 600. So that's a pretty good one, right? It always comes with Lightning Skill. Lightning Skill caps out at 25, right? Comes with Dexterity. The crit hit damage is from the Greenstone. This came with a socket. So this is basically something, this is a basic drop, right? This is just a basic drop. And I rolled cooldown on it. Now, a lot of times you will roll percent of damage, right? You would want 9 or 10% damage increase. But I've rolled cooldowns because we need the cooldowns for this build, right? And because you're wearing your Captain's Crimson set, 2-piece set, damage dealt is increased by your percentage of cooldown reduction, right? So that cooldown reduction actually does become damage. It keeps your defenses up, keeps your defense up, and it becomes damage, right? So we roll our cooldowns on his. And same here on Vengeful Wind. Increases the maximum stat count of Sweeping Wind by 10 and increases the damage by 736%. And if we take a look at that caps out at 800%, right? So, and this one came with cold damage, bonus. Lightning damage would have been cool too. Lightning damage would have been just as good. The 130% critical hit damage is from the green gem in it. And once again, I rolled it for cooldowns, 10% cooldown. Next on our wheel is going to be our Buzz Bands of Justice. Now this is a particularly nice one. It came with 10 crit hit chance, so I rolled 50% crit hit damage. All right, so on your gloves, you want dexterity, crit hit chance, and crit dam, and this also came with cooldown of skills, 7%. Bonus. Shoulders. These are again a drop. They're ancient. I again rolled it for cooldowns. Now on your shoulders, you want cooldown and resource reduction, but at least cooldown reduction, right? And again, you see it's got all resist on it, resist all on anything you can get resist all on is a bonus because that's going to help you fight elemental damage that your armor doesn't stop at all, right? Again, I got 3 big gems in here, big diamonds for the resist all. 350 Ristall. Again, this is just a drop. In leveling this, it is dropped. And I rolled it for 15% life to give us a bigger life pool to work with, right? Helm. This came with 5.5 critical hit chance. You want 6. 6 would be optimal, but I haven't rolled it because I want to give you an idea that you can just get this gear. You can get this gear on your way to 110, right? But 6 crit hit chance would be preferable, and it also has resist all elements and dexterity. So none of this gear is augmented. This Traveler's Pledge dropped, right? Came with 19% lightning skill, 60% crit hit damage, and I rolled it for a socket. The Caesar's Memento came with 6% crit hit chance, 490 dexterity. I rolled it again for lightning damage. Enemies take 698% increased damage from your Tempest Rush for 5 seconds after you hit them with blind, freeze, or stun. We'll get into that later. And back to the Swooping Wind. Necklace, Traveler's Pledge. Your ring is going to be Compass Rose because this gives you, while you're moving, you get a damage reduction of 50%, right? So it's survivability. It's going to give you 50% damage reduction, which you're going to need because you don't have very much resistance, to elemental stuff. So you want that. Now the gems on here, back here, gem, of course, is Taeguk because it's a channeling skill. Your Tempest Rush is a channeling skill. You're channeling, so you want Taeguk in it. I'm assuming again that you've been running T16 and you've been running at least GR 75s and your gems are ranked to 65. They should be higher. If you're trying to push a 110, they're probably higher, but I'm just assuming they're at least 65 to get you there. And then Gogok of Swiftness. Now, in your ring, you put it wherever you want, but Gogok of Swiftness. Normally, you're going to have like Bane of the Stricken, right? But I've decided to go with Gogok of Swiftness because gain swiftness with every attack, increasing your attack speed by 1% and dodge by 1.5% for 4 seconds, and it stacks up to 15 times. So it gives you 15% attack speed and 15% dodge, right? If you're not, it's hard for them to kill you if they can't hit you. So your dodge is really high. And then it also gives you 1% cooldown per stack of swiftness. So that cooldown is going to get our skills going faster, and it's going to provide damage, right? So it's damage and defense. That's why I decided to go with that on this. And then your ring is going to be Stone of Jordan, and you're going to have your Bane of the Trapped in that. Get an aura that reduces the movement speed of enemies by within 15 yards by 30%. Okay, enemies under the effect of this take 34% more damage, right? So that's about the distance of your Swooping Wind away from you, the outer edge of about 15 yards. Anything that comes within that is affected by that gem and takes 30% more damage, which is cool because you're doing Tempest Rush and you're right up in their face. You're hitting them with shit on the way by anyways. So you want them taking that extra damage when you come by. And now normally you use Obsidian Ring in the Zodiac here, right? For the cooldown. Because every time you hit a creature with a spirit spending attack, which Tempest Rush normally is, okay, so let's see, where we've got the RB Blinding Flash. That doesn't really spend any. X doesn't spend any, but we definitely know this does, and we definitely know Sweeping Wind costs money or costs spirit to cast. So Sweeping Wind and Tempest Rush cost, and but anyways, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. It's what we're doing is Stone of Jordan, right? This one dropped with a socket on it and lightning damage, 18% lightning damage, and I rolled it for crit hit chance. Now, the reason we're doing all this, and we're doing the Stone of Jordan, and we're rolling the stuff for lightning damage, right, is because that effect on the Stone of Jordan, right? Each of your elemental damage bonus is equal to your highest static elemental bonus to skill, right? So, let's go in our inventory, hit our X button, and we're going to scroll down to our elemental damages here, right? Physical, fire, lightning, cold, holy. See, they're all at 85%, 84, 85. I've got my cool reduction is 84%. That's awesome. That's like right up there. So that's giving us lots of cooldown, lots of damage. Our physical, fire, lightning, cold, holy, that's all at 85% increased damage on this, which are huge percentages for your elemental. Even a couple of points of elemental percentage damage equals like a couple hundred of dexterity of damage you get from dexterity, right? It's a big deal. So now our Wu Kim Lao is putting out a bunch of lightning damage, and because of our set here, the way it works, the 2 set piece bonus, right? We gain the effect of all the runes for Sweeping Wind, right? So we're doing holy damage, we're doing lightning damage, we're doing fire damage. Let's take a look here. So we're doing cold damage, which is the one we want. You want to choose the cold damage one. But still, even though you've procced that as the main one, you're still doing Bladestorm. You're still getting that, right? Increase the size. You're still getting fire damage out of it. You're still getting increased spirit generation out of it, and you're still creating the lightning damage out of it, right? You're getting all this out of it. So now you're getting 89% increased damage off all that, right? And each one of those has its own damage traders, indicators, including the top up here, right? Each stack, So you're getting 90% more on that, and you got 13 stacks, so it's like 3,000 damage. And again, if we look at our 6-piece bonus down here, if you hit with Tempest Rush while Sweeping Wind is active, increase all damage. That's all damage dealt by 20,000 points. So you're getting 20,000% increased damage out of all your Sweeping Wind, out of your Tempest Rush, your lightning down, right? It's kind of rocking, and this is a very easy T16 build. Anyways, so let me see that belt. Yeah, your belt is Captain's Crimson's. Boots is Captain's Crimson Waiters, right? I haven't even really rolled. I've rolled some resist all on that, right? I haven't even rolled the boots for anything. Tempest Rush damage. Rolling for some Tempest Rush damage. The pants, I rolled some vitality in it because, right, I'm getting a lot of resist all out of them gems already. Already covered all those. Kind of trying to fast explain. I spend way too much time explaining shit in these videos. But anyways, your cube. You're going to want balance, right? Because damage of Tempest Rush is increased by 600%. And when your Tempest Rush hits 3 or fewer enemies, it gains 100% critical hit chance, right? That's a big deal. Right now, and I'm running Aquila Cuirass in the armor slot. Normally, you're going to run Mantles of Channeling, or if you're farming, you're going to run Kirishira's Soul. So your Sweeping Wind stays up 100% of the time at 13 stacks, and you just run around smashing everything. And then, of course, like almost every other build, Ring of Royal Grandeur in the accessory slot. Now, Aquila Cuirass, I've got that because above 90% spirit, we get 50% damage reduction. So again, it's just for survivability. Just like with the Traveler's Compass, it's for survivability. Um, our passives, first one we're going to go with Harmony. 40% of your single elemental resistance from items instead increases your all resist. So that's more survivability. It increases our resistance to elementals. Relentless Assault. You deal 20% more damage to enemies that are blind, frozen, or stunned. Right? Beacon of Etar. Reduce all cooldowns by 20%. So it's defense because it keeps our defensive skills up, and it's offensive because the cooldown becomes damage thanks to our captain set. The Guardian's Path. While dual wielding, you gain 35% chance to dodge incoming attacks. While using a two-handed weapon, your spirit generation is increased. Obviously, we want the dodge because if you can't hit us, we can't take damage. But again, that does nothing about ground effects. Like, yeah, elemental ground effects suck. Right, so that's going to be our passives for this. That's going to be our cube. Our skills. Now, I've got it on the A button for my Xbox controller. Just put it on a button that you have handy that you can hold down a lot. Epiphany, right? Have an Epiphany, increase your spirit regeneration per second by 20, and enable your melee attacks to instantly dash to your target for 15 seconds. Now, the POJ set disables that last part, but you do get the increased spirit regeneration, and our first rune, Desert Shroud, gives us 50% damage reduction as long as Epiphany is up. So it's got a 60-second cooldown. It's a long cooldown. That's why we want all the cooldown in this build, because we want to keep this up 100% of the time for that 50% damage reduction. Because right now I've worked in 150% damage reduction on the build, which seems like a lot, but since we don't have a lot of elemental protection from our armor, it's not a lot. I mean, you can still get thumped really easy. Okay, now again, on another trigger, on another button, I have it on right trigger that you can hold down a lot. You want your Tempest Rush, that's your main attack, right? You're going to hold this down to attack all the time. You're just going to be Tempest Rushing everywhere you go. And you're only going to stop it to pick stuff up, to open doors, to click on stuff you have to click on, right? That's it. And then your rune on this, you want Flurry. After you stop channeling Tempest Rush, you cause an icy blast to all enemies within 15 yards. The damage of the explosion increases by 90% weapon damage as cold while channeling. Tempest Rush damage turns into cold. Right? So, the way that works, you're Tempest Rushing. And you can see down in the left corner above my action bar, above my health bar, you see the little broken bone that signifies Tempest Rush. You see that number counting up. It'll count up to 100, right? That's multiply damage, 100 multiply damage. And when I stop Tempest Rush, see that little poof of cold? That's 100 times damage, cold damage, right? Let's go back to the numbers because I'm terrible at remembering, right? 90% increased weapon damage times 10, or it's like 9. It's stupid. It's a stupid amount of damage when that goes off, when it's fully charged. All right, next I've got on my X button, again, a button I can just hold down a lot. I've got Serenity. You are enveloped in a protective shield that absorbs all incoming damage for 3 seconds and grants immunity to all control impairing effects, right, for 3 seconds. Now, you already get that CC out of the altar if you're far enough in, but it's still important to the build if you're not that far in. This ability does not start its cooldown until after it's expected to expire, right? And I have the rune Ascension, so instead of 3 seconds, I get 4 seconds, right? Now the cooldown says 16 seconds, but with all the cooldown I have built into this, it's a lot shorter. So I'll hit my X button. All right, so 1001, 1002, 1003. So it's got a 3 second. You get 4 seconds of impervious. Whoops. 1001, 1002, 1003. Okay, so 1002, 1003. Okay, so I guess it's about 4 seconds of Serenity for 4 seconds of cooldown. So I mean, it's going to be up because you want it up as much as possible. And when your Gogok of Swiftness is up, it's even faster. It's even shorter. It's up 6 out of every 8 seconds. It's up and giving you that protection. So that's another reason why you want as much cooldown in the build as you can. Because this, you want as close to 100% uptime as possible on this skill and your Epiphany. Next, on the Y button, whatever button, a hit it and forget it button, where you can just only have to hit it once in a while, not worry about it. You want your Sweeping Wind, because as you're hitting stuff, it should build stacks to 13, and it'll stay up, right, for, I'm not sure how long it'll stay up, but it stays up for a bit of time here. About 5 seconds, 6 seconds, it'll stay up before it goes down. And if you've got it stacked up and you're not close to an enemy, it's running out, just hit Y again. And that'll keep your stacks up. It'll keep your stacks up. It'll keep you going at 13. It'll burn a little spirit, but your Tempest Rush will build it back up pretty quick. Now on the B button, which is kind of close to my A and X, I have Cyclone Strike. And you're not even really going to use this. You're not going to use this. I just have it on the action bar so I can equip Wall of Wind, right? Okay, so we get an automatic Cyclone Strike from our Wu Kim Lao when we hit people with our Tempest Rush, right? When we hit them with Tempest Rush, it's going to cause an automatic Cyclone Strike. But that Cyclone Strike is unruned, right? It has no runed effect to it. So by putting Cyclone Strike in my action bar and equipping Wall of Wind, every time that Cyclone Strike auto procs, it should proc Wall of Wind. Enemies are frozen for 1.5 seconds after being pulled in. Cyclone Strike damage turns into cold. Right? So, and we're getting a ton of cold damage, right? So we're getting extra Cyclone Strike damage. We're getting Sweeping Wind damage. We're getting Blind Cold damage, right? We're getting a 90% increase on, like, it's just, okay. You can kind of see where I'm going with it, right? So that Cyclone Strike, being cold, being frozen is a big deal because it triggers our 20% increased damage to cold and frozen, right? So we're getting a lot of extra damage to stuff that's frozen. And then final skill, again, on my right button, a button I can just hold down a lot. I have Blinding Flash, create a flash of light that blinds all enemies within 20 yards for 3 seconds. Elite enemies recover faster, but suffer a 30% chance to miss with attacks. And on this, I've got Faith in the Light. You deal 29% increased damage for 3 seconds after using Blinding Flash. So it's a 30% damage creator every time that pops, right? 30% damage. 30% damage. Right, so that's why that's on the action bar. That's why we're using that. Why we don't have Dashing Strike on the bar. We replaced Dashing Strike with that. Normally, if you're just farming, you're going to have Dashing Strike. All right, that is the general build. So once again, let's go over gear. Quick note, just okay. Wu Kim Lao, Vengeful Fury for weapons. Your gloves, your shoulders, duh, duh. We've got Traveler's Pledge for our necklace. We've got Caesar's Memento for our gloves, right? We have Compass Rose for one of our rings. We have Stone of Jordan. And then we have Captain's Crimson Waders for our boots. We have our own, the POJ pants. And we have the Captain Crimson girders for our belt. Skills, Epiphany, Tempest Rush, Serenity, Sweeping Wind, Cyclone Strike, Blinding Flash. Passives, Harmony, Relentless Assault, Beacon of Etar, Guardian's Path. In the cube, Balance, Aquila Cuirass, Ring of Royal Grandeur. Right now I don't have any of this gear augmented. It's all just kind of lower level stuff that's dropped. I do have much better gear, and I do have better gear for my follower and all that. But the point is, this is for somebody who's trying to push that 110 and hasn't quite got all their stuff together yet, right? And still, it's not easy. I've done this earlier, and it's not easy. It's not an easy push. It depends on a lot of the monsters that spawn. If they have a lot of elemental damage, you're not going to get it. You might as well quit out the rift and try for another one. If your trash monsters are doing instead a lot of physical damage, throwing spears, they don't have a lot of elemental damage, you're going to do a lot better. You'll do a lot better. And you want a moderately confined spaces. Really wide is nice because you can run away well, but you can also run away into places you haven't been and bring more monsters into the fight, which is bad, right? So this is going to be a running fight. You're going to come in close to your monsters. You're going to hit them with your Tempest Rush and get them taking some cold damage, some blind damage, right? And get them taking that damage. And then you're going to run away. And then you're going to come back in and you're going to pop your Tempest Rush, your Flurry, right? For your damage. It's going to be a running fight. And all the time, when you get a big mob, you're going to want to slowly pull that mob away from where they're at, those elites. So you can get them away from that elemental damage they throw down. And just take them out one at a time, right? It's going to be a pick and choose thing. All right, let's do this. I'll probably get wrecked. First one will probably be the worst possible rift I could get. And because I have ADHD, I got to check one more time that I got my shit right. In a group here. All right. Here we go. 110 GR. You need the 110 to get to be able to hold enough blood shards to make your 1100 blood shard sacrifice. That's the whole point behind this. Make sure you have plenty of keystones available, because if you get a crappy rift, you're just going to quit out, right? And fish for a better rift. Here we go. Let's see how we go here. Okay, so right away, you're going to want to get your Sweeping Wind going, get your Epiphany going, get your Serenity, start Tempest Rushing, kind of get that shit build up a little, start hitting the first few guys, get your Gogaka Swiftness built up. There we go. See that ring? You want to be in that. That's your extra damage. See, you're not really doing a lot of damage here. Oh, and then pop your health. Get that extra Spire effect going. There we go. See how much that helped? You don't want to do it too much because you're going to need your health occasionally. Right? You're just going to need it because you take damage. See, now these guys aren't doing a lot of elemental damage. It's pretty much just physical damage, which your armor blocks well. So this is a good mob type for us. Oh, we're still behind the clock. I got to get moving, find a mob. Find an E-Pack. These guys are a little bit too spread out. It's a good floor, though. It's a good floor. There we go. There we go. Nice group here. We should be able to get our double D out of this. We haven't gotten that yet. Our Nephilim's Glory, right? Damn it. That gives us double damage. Okay, okay, and here we go. We got a blue mob here. Gold mob. Nice. Now see, now I'm slowly, there's our, I'm bringing them back away from the action, right? Back towards some of these other mobs, these ads. These are going to add to my damage. Get away from that ice damage they put out. You don't want to be caught in ice damage or... Boom, there we go. There we go. There's our first mob down. We're ahead of the clock. Now again, we only got 200 Paragon into this. We got low level gear. Yes, I got more stuff in the altar, but I mean, not that much more than somebody who's looking for that 110 to get the last thing, right? And they should have, hopefully, at 170, or when they ran their solo 70, they got a primal, and they could have used the ashes from that to open their first potion, the Father Potion, which is the one I've been using, that we're relying on, right? So you get that shrine effect for 10 minutes. Get your fellows got gloves of worship. See, and then our damage slowly builds the further we get into this rift. Oh, there we go. There's another Nephilim Glory. We're basically just trashing this out, right? We want that. Oh, that's the way out. I like this rift. I'm going to stay in this rift because I kind of like this rift. Hopefully we got another champion. Okay, get that random effect going again. Fuck, no. Okay, what did I miss? No, that was a shot. Oh, disappointing. That was, see, now I'm going to hit my swooping wind to keep it going while I'm trying to get out of here. Hit it again before the door. Hit it again once I get in. That just keeps it up. That was disappointing. Like, this isn't a bad rift either, because now we have plenty of places where we can quadren enemies off, right? Get them away from the other enemies. Like, we don't want to be trapped in any place too tight ourselves, because we won't be able to get away from the elemental damage. Oh, get our random shrine effect going again. Okay, here we go. If we can keep these guys frozen, we don't have to worry about that. There we go. Boom. Knocked it out. We are ahead of the clock. We're doing fine. There's a speed pipe on our follower. Give us that extra champion. Watch the floor for elemental damage. You don't want to be standing. It'll kill you. See that? You want to be away from that arcane ball. We'll move over here away from that. Drag him with us. He should follow us. Champions tend to think they're badasses. They'll follow you around. Boom, there we go. If you have the extra progression globe open in the altar, you want to make sure you kill the minions so you can get that extra progression globe. Okay, hit our random shrine effect. So keep an eye out for elemental damage, guys who... that's elemental that line. There we go. Get this guy out away from everybody. Charge up your Tempest Rush a little and let go. Let him have it. Get away from that cold damage. These Golgars or Maniac guys, whatever. They're good for progression. Bigger guys generally are good for your progression. Oop. Oh, it's taking some damage there. See? Let's see what we got over here. Okay. Let's see what's down here. Okay, we got area to lead this guy down the stairs. Oop, there's damage again. Dang, motherfucker. That guy's tough. He's smacking me around a bit. Oop, cold damage, run away. See, I'm going to stay off of him a little bit now. Let that health come around, pop that health again, so I got a random shrine. There we go. Boom. Now we're well ahead of the clock. Got a nice little trash mob here. Get our Nephilim's Glory again. There it is. Double damage. Double D, baby. The Nephilim, yeah, the Nephilim Glories give you almost double damage. Right there, they're a good deal. You want to pick them up when you can. Stack them up to 2 minutes. This was a good rift for this build. Past couple rifts now. Oh, lots of fire damage in here. Probably not so much. We might end up behind the clock now. Hit our random shine going. Oh, there's our Aki ring, our 80 damage. It's 79, whatever. I'm just calling it 80. That's going to be the average. Get out of there. See, I'm taking damage. Get out of there. Let my life build again. Die. All right, I'm going to proc my... That's fine. I'm just making sure that cold damage is hitting. Hit that Cyclone Strike, right? Just proc it. Make sure. Fuck. Up here out of that. Oop. Lost my Sweeping Wind. Run away. See what we got up here. Oh. We have a Condi Pylon. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's going to get us going. Oh. Maybe not. That's okay. My Random Shrine effect is ready also. Hit that. Hit my Cyclone Strike. Or my Tempest Rush. Get, see, man, that elemental could fall behind the clock here. Let's go up here and get these guys. It's running fight. I need to stay away from them guys and their elemental damage. At some point, I'm going to have to run around all this. Start bringing them back down this way. There we go. There we go. Got a couple big guys here I can charge my stuff on. Okay, a couple of guys are down. Ooh, Aki ring, let that. Could hit my Random Shrine again. Take it, you. There we go. Still ahead of the clock. 97%. Oh, back to this floor. We know this is a good mob type for us. Well, maybe not. Back off a little. Let our health build back up. Almost got just surrounded. Random Shrine effect. Come on. Get back over here by this. Oh, it's probably that maiden that smacked me. Right there. Well, oh yeah, that's it. That's who it was. Slapped the snot out of me. She's like, "Hey, boy, I got a lesson for you. Come learn it." Oh, and somebody is shooting elemental damage at me, like a frozen arrow. So we're just going to take long sweeps through these guys. Come back, come through, and let off that Sweeping Wind or Tempest Rush. We're at 99. We just got to kill these couple guys right here. There we go. There's our boss. Oh, this guy. Keeping frozen. Oh, my Serenity's not popping. There we go. Random Shrine. See that little chunk that came out when I... we're going to want to... oops, stay away from that tornado. Oh! We're still ahead of the clock. We're still doing good. He's filling the area up with stuff, though, so we're going to back off a little. There we go. I'm going to back off again. Get him to chase me. A little, here's a nice open area. Build up my Tempest Rush attack. Get him froze. There we go. Junk there. Come on. A little bit more area to run here. There we go. Yeah. And there you go. And there is a 115 with a low gear POJ. Or 110, excuse me, 110 with a lower gear POJ. I'm just going to put him on this gem. Now, my gems were only at 65 for this. Like I said, I just assumed you had them at least that. Getting to 110, you probably should have had all three of your gems should have been at least 100, which would have made this all, you know, it's going to be way easier to do this 110 if you've been leveling up your main gems, right? And still, you know, you can still be going with the Traveler's Pledge. You can still be going with Aquila Curris in your stuff. I tried getting it without using Stone of Jordan, with just running with the Obsidian Ring for the cooldowns instead of Stone of Jordan, and it's just not. Just doesn't do as much damage as it does putting your rolling lightning skill on everything and wearing the Stone of Jordan, and then rolling cooldown on as much as you possibly can. Right, that just gets you way further. So this is basically, I only have 200. So this is a Paragon 200 basic POJ gear build, right? A couple of the objects are ancient, but they're not augmented. Again, nothing's augmented. Some of the pieces are ancient, but they're not exactly the best, right? It has crit damage, but it doesn't have crit chance. It's got some attack speed, came with lightning damage, so I rolled a socket. I just, you know, haven't had that much luck with Traveler's Pledges that I could do this with that had lightning damage on it and a socket. This one dropped. I was like, okay, that's the one we're going with. And again, this is not even ancient. I just rolled 20% on it, and it came with 6%. Again, just basic. Came with a socket, so I rolled cooldown on it. This one, again, came with a socket, so I rolled cooldown. Right? Nothing's really high pro glow. You should have plenty of these larger gems to put in your gear. By this point, trying to run a 110. Should have, you know, 6 large diamonds to go in your gear and 2 large emeralds, right? You should be. I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't if you've been grinding. All right. And I suppose I may do another one of these to show you the more of the push build that you put together after this, after you get enough Paragon to be able to run a Squirts Necklace without just dying all the time. All right. If you join me for this, thank you very much. Follow me here on Twitch, and then hop over to Darth Grumpy Dad on YouTube and subscribe, follow over there. Thank you very much. Have a good day.